And we don't need life any harder than it already is.
No, we don't.
Keep the dates the same, keep the times the same, keep the places the same. Stop confusing us, because
That being said, I haven't been around for a few episodes, so much for staying consistent.
Well, we need to apologize first to our viewers, because this is going to go out very late today. So normally Wednesdays.
So again, so much for what we were talking about on time.
Yeah.
Keep consistent.
I usually schedule the episodes for 5 a.m. and we don't have any more in the bank. So I debated, do I just skip this week or do I just put it out late?
Gotcha.
So I'm either going to do it tonight, Wednesday night, or put it out tomorrow morning, depending on how tired I am in a little while.
Sit and suffer.
So apologize to everybody listening that it came out late, but life happens. And when you have other jobs and other things going on, and this isn't my job, but is my job, if that makes sense. And sometimes things get in the way. And this time it was, for me, last week, it was a good thing that got in the way, because you and I have discussed for Storytelling on the Plains doing a series on all of the rural schools that used to be out here. And Lake Minnetonka School literally just closed last Thursday morning. They had their graduation. I was not able to go to it. But I did go to their barbecue the night before, so I was really pumped up that I was able to go into the school, get pictures, get some video.
Last rural school of the counties, for those who are wondering why this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's the last rural school.
Yeah, and it was a big enough deal that Flatwater Free Press sent a reporter from Lincoln out here to cover both days.
I think that's kind of neat that they went to lengths to do that.
Yeah.
It is kind of a big deal. The last country school.
Yep.
And now they're all gone.
So they called me and asked if I would like to do photos, and so that's why we got a little behind. And then you had your house emergency on Thursday, and we were like, hey, we're just not getting anything done.
A leaky pipe scenario.
Yeah.
You have to love plumbing in an old house.
Yeah. So we're gonna be a little late this week, and then hopefully back on schedule next week. But anyway, we're not doing a person today. We're doing a place. So I don't want this to sound like a tourist thing, like go here, but it is.
Go here.
You should. It's totally cool, and I plan on going back out because I didn't have enough time to see the whole thing. So we're going to talk today on Storytelling on the Plains about a place you can visit, especially if you want just a few hours away from everything. You can walk at a leisurely pace, take pictures, sit and listen to birds, whatever. Supposedly, if you walk really fast, you'll be done in less than an hour, but I spent almost 3 hours there, I think. I got there at 9, and I told Paul I'd be home by noon, and at like 12:15, he's like, hey, what's going on?
Still alive over there.
And I go, I'm going to be here for like another 15 minutes or so. So I hurried back to the car, but across the road is the other side of this place. So I want to go back and check that place out. But not a lot of people know about Stateline Island, and it's tucked away just past the main street in Henry, Nebraska, but it's a great place for a peaceful walk in nature and to view quite a bit of wildlife out there. I was just showing Connor a picture of a blue heron I caught in the sky. I had a lot of moments, I'm always mindful of, that would make a great picture, so I take a picture. But I spent a lot of time out there just wandering around. I can't tell you how many Canada geese flew above me in like 2s and 3s, and I felt like I could just put my hand up and touch them. That's how low they were.
That's really cool.
And I didn't get any pictures of them because I'm just like, wow, that is really cool. And then they're gone and out of zoom range, and I'm like, okay, I missed it. But I was just enjoying my time out there. And when I first went out there, a guy had 5 German Shepherds. And so I sat in my car and I'm like, la, 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 let them go down the road a bit because you never know. And so he disappeared down the road, and then I started on my hike. And there is a main trail but I went off trail lots and lots of times. And then when I finally got, I was only like 200-300 feet down, and he was coming back. Those dogs were well trained. He took them off the trail to the side, told them all to sit, and like one of them looked at me, and he was like, no. And the dog looked right back at him and stayed with him. So
I was like, damn it.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool that he actually trained his dog. So we're going to talk about Stateline Island today. And the reason most people don't know about it is because not a lot of people drive out to Henry, and Henry is right at the state line between Nebraska and Wyoming. And you just turn down Main Street, and it's just down the road there. We'll get to directions later. But Stateline Island is one of the North Platte Valley's public lands, and it's part of the North Platte National Wildlife Refuge. Many people miss it out here because when they think of the North Platte National Wildlife Refuge, they think of the main bits over near Lake Alice and Lake Minnetonka. Yeah. So it's technically part of that, but if you went from Lake Minnetonka out to Henry, from Scotts Bluff to Henry is 28 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, 45 minutes? So they're about 45 minutes away from each other, and I think people just miss it. They don't realize it.
I believe there's pockets also. So if you drive along the highway along 26 from Scotts Bluff to Minnetonka, there's little water pockets, and some of them are on private land, but I believe one or two of them are actually refugee lands for waterfowl. Waterfowl.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a part of the North Platte Wildlife Refuge, but I assume it is.
Yeah, because there's that, and then there's some part of the Preby lands, and then there's some other stuff that's just public that's provided just for the animals.
Yeah.
Or birds.
And they're just left alone, and they're very pretty. Especially if you get them, if you're a photographer and you love those kind of pictures, catch it on the right kind of day. Even the one off of 26 is beautiful.
Yeah. They're all really cool, and I think a lot of people just don't realize it because they'll look at Google Maps and the main bit. If you look at Google Maps, you can see Stateline Island, but it's so much smaller than
it's tiny
over by Lake Minnetonka. So I think it's very easy to miss, and I cannot believe I haven't been out there. August 1st,
is so pretty.
Yeah.
Henry is like a beautiful, beautiful little town that no one ever talks about. And other than what we're going to talk about, we're just going to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Like no one needs to know about it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want tourists, outsiders knowing about this place because they always muddle it up. This is one of those like cute little quaint left alone little cities. And I have a friend that lives out there, so I get to see him quite a bit. Oops, sorry. But yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's a nice little place, and I think people would, if you had your influencers come,
Yeah, I don't want that.
I think the folks in Henry would beat them. If they did the things that I've seen some of them do in other places.
Yeah, it's an obnoxious thing. And unfortunately that's the bad thing about influencers. It's like it's always one's not bad, but once you get to about 10, it's downright obnoxious.
Yeah.
I try. We try not to be that way ourselves and talk about this more than show, and I kind of like that. We have pictures and we'll put them up, of course, on our page, but we're not going to go into too much. I'm sure of like how exactly you get to this place and this is the road you should take, and
and it's why I cheer for the bison when I hear a story of someone tried to take a selfie with a bison. I'm like, your own fault. Stop.
I wish we had more wild bison.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
To be reintroduced.
Yeah. As soon as humans disappear off this planet, they're all coming back to this area.
Oh yeah.
It'll probably take about 10 years, but they'll all be back here. So before you start panicking, if you're going to go out there, it is an easy hike. If you stay on that little road, it's like a loop road on the island, which isn't quite an island anymore, but we'll get to that too here in a second. It is an easy hike, but I went off trail a lot because that's the only way you can get to the water on one side, and that's where I found all the birds this time. So you don't have to worry about oh, I need a walking stick and I need to climb and I need climbing ropes and proper shoes. No, man, just
maybe bug spray, depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
We haven't quite had the mosquitoes out yet, but
Yeah,
they're coming.
I went first week in May and was fine. I slightly worried about snakes, but I didn't even see the holes. So I'm not even sure if there's any snakes out there, but if there were, we're now at the end of May, so if there were going to be any snakes, they'll be out now. So just be mindful of snakes anyway, just in case. So the ground can be a little bit uneven, but it's an easy walk for a beautiful day or an overcast, any day. I mean, I would go out there if it was raining just to see what it's like when it's raining.
It's so awesome to take trails when it's raining. That's what I loved about the Black Hills. A lot of my hiking was in the rain. I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
Because it's so pretty.
It is.
To see things in the rain.
And so many people, for me, so many people are not there when it's raining. So it's a double bonus for me.
It is a bonus. You don't see a lot of people out.
So my friend Steve Frederick is now the retired special projects editor at the Scottsbluff Star-Herald, and he wrote an article in 2015 about the place, and it was just a short few 100-word place about it. He was doing all the places around here where you can hike and things you should go and see and do. And I'm going to read his description of the place so you can understand how easy it is to get around Stateline Island. At 136 acres, it's one of the smallest wild areas in the region, just over a mile or so from end to end. It's easy to get to. It's on flat river bottom ground. On the southeast portion, there's a groomed trail with benches that run along the North Platte for about a half mile, as well as a 2-track trail that runs from an information kiosk for a half a mile or so along a dike. My brain just kind of exploded because I did that backwards from what he just described. He literally did it the opposite way from the way I went. So my brain is going, what, Steve? Where did you go? Oh, wait, yeah, that's just backwards. And I can tell you, too, when I was out there was those yellow machines that have, like, you can dig dirt up with it.
Oh, with those little kid machines?
No, it was a bigger one, one that you had to climb into. On that south side of the Platte, on the island, I don't know what they're doing, and I didn't want to go ask, but it looked like they were making maybe a little bit more trail out there. I'm not sure.
It could be. The trail erosion is always something that you have to deal with.
Yeah. So, Stateline Island is bounded on the north and east by the river and to the south by Centennial Creek. Get disoriented, and all you have to do is walk in a straight line until you find water, then follow it upstream. Either tributary will take you back to the parking lot. I don't know.
Find the river.
I don't know how you would get lost out there, really. It's 136 acres. It's not that big. You can't.
Have you met some of the people?
Yeah. I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, but yeah.
I always tell people you can't get lost in Minotera, and lo and behold.
How do you get lost in Minotera?
I said, lo and behold, someone gets lost in Minotera. Like, what do you mean you got lost in Minotera? It's 5 blocks.
Oh my God. I remember the first time I went down there for, I don't know if it was the first time, might have been the second, the nursing home that's in Minotera. And I was all worried I was going to get lost and stuff, and people at the Star-Herald were laughing at me. They're like, no.
If you get lost, that's your problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem. And we might not welcome you back.
Yeah.
We might just lock the doors behind you.
It was not hard to find at all. Yeah, it's not that big. So I went out to Stateline Island about 2 weeks ago now, and enjoyed my whole morning there, just wandering around and taking photos. And I did spend a lot of time. So like I wasn't hiking the whole time because it's 136 acres.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time just walking up close to the edge of Centennial Creek. That's where all the birds seemed to be hanging out that day. And just watching the birds. You know, I would take a few pictures and then I'd sit there for 5-6 minutes just watching the birds, just listening and just...
They have an amazing program now that listens to birds that my husband uses.
Yeah, it's the Cornell Labs.
Yeah, the Cornell Labs.
Thanks for that, Connor, because I downloaded the app and signed up for it, and I get emails all the time now.
It's an amazing app.
It is.
I think people should use it, especially if you enjoy birds, because they'll tell you what they are by the sound.
And I can identify birds by that one was black, but had a little bit of red on it. That one was red. No, I know what cardinals are. I can't say red. I like cardinals, so I know what they look like.
But that's me too. I know my favorites. Like my favorite birds I've learned to memorize, sure. But like out in the wild, yeah, there's a bunch of ones I don't know.
That I didn't know. I mean, look at the picture we just did with the heron. I'm like, I cannot remember the name of this bird. And then we were talking, and you're like, yeah, that's a heron. Yeah. And that was an amazing shot.
Pretty birds.
Yeah.
Really, really pretty birds.
Absolutely. So it was a really pleasant time out there, so much so that I'm going to go back out there once the waters have risen a bit, because, of course, it's still early. Well, we're full into spring now, I think. Mm-hmm. But in the spring, the Platte River is very, very low. You can walk across it without getting your feet wet. There's lots
plus we haven't had rain.
Yeah, we haven't had rain, so there's no water
all
either.
Those people going around here who are probably well aware, we did not get any rain. We didn't get any snowfall from Wyoming, although there was a snowstorm not too long ago that gave us some relief up in the mountains. But I went out east to Omaha to go see my goddaughter graduate, and I went along the North Platte. Most of the way was all sandbank. Yeah. There isn't much there.
Yeah. So hopefully maybe we'll get something. I don't know. But they've also said this year they're limiting the ditch water because of that.
They are. They're also what the water I don't know what you call it, the water company, the water people of the county, state water, whatever.
Yeah, the irrigation districts.
The irrigation district, whatever they do. Out near Mitchell, what they're doing, because the Tri-State Canal, which we talked about in another episode, isn't open just yet, so there's no water. And so what they're doing is doing diversions from the river, not to give to farmers or to us as consumers, it's just to put back into the ground by running these. So there's a creek that runs along the greenhouse that my husband helps grow in. And that's full running right now.
Okay.
But it's not for us. It's not even for the greenhouse to use. It's just to replenish the groundwater around to help plants grow and to help us. So that's something I'm sure they're doing all over the state, not just there.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So hopefully the water levels go back up, but it also made for some interesting photos, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. And I specifically, I would like to turn this into a video, because I got some cool photos. Yeah, and I'm like, this would be something neat to turn into a video, but I'm slow.
But
so
stay away, influencers.
Yeah. Yeah. Influencers, this place sucks. Don't come here.
This isn't for you.
So hopefully things sort themselves out, but that's a whole other thing to talk about is the water. I did a article for a magazine Steve worked on about where the water begins and it comes out here, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, and I wrote the final story of it connecting to the river and going out the Gulf of Mexico. But he went straight from the start and how everything works through here. Yeah, it's very cool and fascinating. Yeah. And I would have to crib a lot off of him.
That would also be something more useful in video for him, because you'd have to talk about a lot of terra forma and a lot of land masses, and it'd be helpful if there's a map, or something to see.
To go along with, yeah. So we already we skipped way ahead the whole drought stuff.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It just meant I lost my place. So I'm hoping to take multiple trips out to Stateline Island this year just to see if I can see the progression of how the water goes. And it's neat that there's 2 different benches in 2 different places where you can sit and just watch. So I'm looking forward to that too. But we're here to learn about the history of this place, and we've rambled on for 20 minutes, and we need to get into it. So Stateline Island gets its name because it's at the Nebraska-Wyoming border, and because it was once an island in the North Platte River. The island was formed as the river formed a northern and southern channel around the land. In 1887, however, the southern channel was blocked to divert water to the nearby Tri-State Canal by the predecessors of the Farmers Irrigation District. That southern channel is now named Centennial Creek, and it's kind of for the same reasons that you were just talking about. So there is a diversion dam which sends water from the river to irrigate approximately 80,000 acres in the farmers and northern irrigation districts. A dike was constructed to keep the river within its current northern channel where the dam is located. So people have had to get very creative about building all this stuff, and a lot of people...
Yeah, the diversion dams are fun. You can actually... They're scattered throughout the place. I got to find them, luckily, as a FedEx driver. As you go along these farmlands, and you see them and I had to go around a few of them out in Wyoming. But yeah, they're fascinating. They're not... When people think of a dam, they think of maybe like Hoover Dam. No, these are like... Just like stuff that just goes over an irrigation ditch, just like a common... 2, maybe 3 panel gate that comes down and just blocks the water. And there's not much to it, but because they're how they're designed, the road that goes, the maintenance road always goes in a wonky way around it to try to, so you can keep maintenance up on the dam. So if you happen to be a unlucky FedEx driver like me, who insisted that he knew a better way than the map showed to get this far, you gotta see stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I was looking at a map the other day around Lake Alice, and I was at first going, do I have to drive on the canal road to get to Lake Alice? Because I'm not really... Some student Paul had several years ago lived out somewhere near Lake Minnetonka, and the only way to get to his house, and it was like a row of 5 or 6 houses out there, you had to drive on the canal road. There was no other way out there. And I'm there in my little tiny Toyota Yaris going, ah.
Yep. But they'll order stuff from FedEx.
Yeah.
We have to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah.
What they give us out there.
Thanks. You couldn't build a road out there, a proper road.
You can't build a road for our trucks, but thanks.
Yeah.
All your potholes. Thanks.
And I drove like I was in first gear because I was afraid to drive faster. I'm like, I don't want to end up in the canal.
Imagine having like a whole box full of boxes just rattling around like crazy, going everywhere, dust everywhere. You hate your life when you got those addresses, and you would remember them. So every morning you get your whole list of addresses, and you see it's like, fuck. God damn it. I gotta go again. You don't start crying. It's like, not again. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
And I'm glad it was you and not me.
Yeah. The fun of being a delivery driver. It's not just FedEx, but it's UPS, Amazon, all you guys. Yeah. You all hear me. Anyone who's ever done those delivery jobs, you hear me. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm talking about. These fools, they build their house and then think everything else around that house, including how they got to the house. Because they're just fine with their big old 4-wheel or whatever in their dirt roads. Yep. They don't care.
They don't.
Nope. No dams.
I was terrified. I get you, and I was in a little car. I wasn't in a giant truck with, boxes that I'm responsible for. So yeah, when I went out there and the diggers were out there, I don't know what they were there for, but when I went back out on the highway, I noticed there was a lot of work going on, and there was already a building there. I just couldn't decipher what it was, and I didn't want to get too close. And while I was out there hiking, having a fun time. I'm not out there to interrogate people for what they're doing on my trail.
Yeah, that's how you get shot out here.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. So I'm like, all right, he's digging something up. Trail goes to the left. He's on my right. We're good. We did the head nod thing.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like, what's up? Nebraska, what's up?
Yep.
What's up?
So Stateline Island became part of the North Platte National Wildlife Refuge, which includes the Crescent Lake area north of Oshkosh and the inland lakes, Minutair, Alice, and Winters Creek in 1991.
And just so you guys know, Oshkosh is nowhere near Henry.
No. It's even farther away.
Yeah, it's farther away than Scotts Bluff.
Yeah, it's a good long ways away. I've never been there.
Nor did they make Oshkosh Bagosh.
Yeah,
Jeans. They didn't
yeah.
do it. It would have been kind of cool
And-
if that
yeah.
came from Nebraska. I think that's something we should have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my husband still calls it oh gosh.
Oh gosh, Bagosh.
No, he just calls it oh gosh.
Oh
Like-
gosh.
Like
Well, what about the pants name?
I don't think he knows
Oshkosh
about.
Bagosh.
Yeah, I don't think he knows about the pants because he's all British and stuff. So he came here after that.
Yeah.
Those were the pants for a
They
while.
were, and I never looked it up. I don't know where they're from. I know they're
either.
not from Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's all I know. They didn't come from Oshkosh, Nebraska.
Yeah. Who knows where? Someone came up with that name somewhere. So Stateline Island is managed as a wildlife, the whole refuge is managed as a wildlife sanctuary by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, but it's under primary jurisdiction of the Bureau of Reclamation. Adjacent irrigation structures, which are off limits, are managed by the Farmers Irrigation District, and these entities essentially work together to provide a habitat for the animals. So that's my guess, is that one of the irrigation districts was doing something out there.
Oh, probably.
I just didn't stay. If I was still in my reporter days and I was actually writing a story, I probably would have walked up and said, "Hey, man, what are you guys doing out here? I'm a reporter for the Star Herald writing a story about Stateline Island."
Did I tell you? They
And
might not. There's like, we're a third party. We're on a job.
yeah,
Go away.
I know, yeah. or the dude in the truck would be like, "That's my boss over there."
Boss.
You
And
know?
then that boss calls the supervisor, and
Yeah.
that supervisor calls the CEO, and maybe you'll get an
Yeah,
interview.
yeah. It's kind of hit and miss sometimes. So the island is 136 acres of the 4,022 acre North Platte National Wildlife Refuge, which was originally established in 1916 as a preserve and breeding grounds for native birds. So it officially was all came under this big North
Yeah.
Platte umbrella in 91. But
But
as far back as 1916, the area was already protected for the wildlife. It just didn't.
But this 4,022 acres isn't one solid piece.
No.
When people think of it, it's scattered.
Yeah.
It's that much worth of land.
Yeah.
Bitted around.
Yeah.
Bitted around Nebraska, if that makes sense.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, Lake Minutair, you're not supposed to go out there in the winter because
No, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
They do close it off. It never stopped me as a kid. Sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah,
I did. I was a bad kid.
in the winter we will drive around the whole lake. All the gates and stuff are closed, but sometimes you can drive up to the lighthouse. But
Yeah, usually you can drive. Well, they usually let you drive to the lighthouse because that's where the state game people. There's a game warden that usually lives.
yeah, yeah,
So they keep that gate open. But yeah, no, you usually can't
yeah.
get around there.
And I just stay away from it in the winter because I know that's all the migratory birds are going through there. So just let them be.
Yeah. We didn't do anything mischievous other than camp out there when I was
Yeah.
a kid. We did winter camping. We didn't like the tourists, so we went in the winter.
So you went, okay.
When everyone's gone.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just had a cat hop up on my lap. She doesn't know how to read, but we'll see how long she stays. Officially known as the North Platte National Wildlife Refuge, Stateline Island Unit. So try saying that fast 3 times. The area provides resting and foraging habitat for migratory birds as well as nesting habitat for resident birds. So now I'm going to get all educational on you. There are a few things you can look for while you're on your hike at Stateline Island, and you don't have to look for this. You can just go out there and enjoy it, but I'm going to get all nerdy here for a second. There are some wetland areas here, which are the most productive ecosystems on the planet. And look, Irene doesn't know how to spell planet. Planted. I swear I proofread these, Connor, but I miss stuff. Whatever. And I don't have a copy desk anymore to catch my silly mistakes. So they provide food, water, shelter, and space for a great diversity of wildlife and plant species. This is because the wetlands act like sponges. They can store immense amounts of water deep in the ground, which is beneficial during the dry times. And this helps to prevent flooding and erosion. And when I was out there, again, we haven't had a lot of water this year, but you wouldn't know it. Everything was lush and green, and some parts of the trail, your foot sinks into because the ground is damp. So,
so it has that water source.
Yeah. So there are also riparian areas, which are those narrow strips of land and vegetation next to streams, wetlands, and lakes. Riparian areas have unique and diverse plant and animal communities and are used by 65% of all animals during all or part of their life cycles. With the water levels low on the river, these areas were a lot easier for me to spot when I visited them, because it looks like you're walking off a little cliff into the river, because the water's just not there right now. If the river was full, they're a lot harder to spot. Sandbars are also easy to see when the water levels are low, but they are sometimes there year-round. And I know on the Platte, different spots all across the state, some of them are there year-round. So sandbar provides valuable resting and roosting areas for resident wildlife, as well as migratory waterfowl and shorebirds. So when birds chill out on these sandbars, they have a wide open view to protect themselves from predators like coyotes, foxes, hawks, and eagles, and it gives them time to rest while still providing safety and escape routes from harm. So it's basically a high place where they can chill out, rest a little bit, and still be able to see if predators are coming towards them.
And Thorpe, any golfer?
Yeah.
Thwart, any golfer?
Thwart? Yeah.
Thwart, any golfer? Hinder them. Make them pissed.
Steal their golf balls. The grasslands at Stateline Island are mixed grass prairie, and it is a special habitat within the refuge. So it is characterized by a variety of grasses, including the blue grama, needle and thread, western wheatgrass, and prairie sandreed. I'm not an expert on grasses, but if you are, you can see all of those out here.
Well, and the grasses are important because that really is what keeps this whole land together. The big deal about that fire that happened in the Midwest is that without the rain, the grass might not be able to come back in time, and the sand would cover over it, because there's under all of us, it's just sand. This is what's an ocean bed. So it's basically keeping us from the next dust bowl.
Yes.
And a very catastrophic ecological disaster for anyone who's studied the dust bowl. We have to keep that grass. And the best grass is the prairie grass, because it knows how to deal with this kind of climate. It knows how to deal with drought. The roots are deep. And a good example of this is those very fires I was talking about. Again, I was traveling down Highway 2. If you go down Highway 2, going to the east, coming back, you'll see all those burn areas, and they are all now back with green grass because it's been raining. At least in the eastern part,
yeah.
And the Midwestern part's been raining, so all that grass is coming back, and thank God it is, because it's gonna help from that erosion. Because once the sand creeps in, there's no coming back.
Right.
We're going to have to start doing something as humans to prevent that. But for now, nature's doing that.
Yep. I remember a few years ago when the Cedar Canyon, Carter Canyon area burned as well. And that was the only reason it wasn't worse than what it was, and it was pretty bad, was the Airlink helicopter from the hospital was in the air and saw the lightning strike. And so they reported it in, and their dispatcher called down to communications, and they were able to send someone out. But it was a pretty bad lightning strike, and a huge chunk burned. And I went out to Cedar Canyon Wildlife Management area to hike around afterwards, and I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then probably 4 or 5 months later, I went out again, and the green was coming back.
And that's as long as we have the climate, because the bad, unfortunate thing about wildfires, as bad as they are, as terrible as they are, they're absolutely necessary. And if we weren't here, if the wildfires didn't ever exist, we would be the poorer for it. We have to have the burn down to keep the grass growing new again, to have the diversity that comes up, the seeds that come up deal with the fire. Anyway, take a biology class. It's good. It's good. Fire's good as long as the weather comes behind it and makes more seeds grow. So it is kind of one of those things where even out here, it's terrible because it's really not the fire, it's the lack of rain. Yeah. It's the lack of moisture.
Yeah. So still, if you like the different kinds of prairie grasses, there's several kinds out there, and I could point them out to you, but I'm just not well versed enough. I can see the difference in the grasses.
Oh, you were about to say difference. I could point out any grass.
Okay.
So that there? That's grass.
That's grass.
There? That's also grass. I'm pretty good.
I mean, I could say this grass looks different from this grass, but I can't tell you what kind of grass
it's another kind of grass.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say. That's grass. That's another kind of grass.
Yeah. And we make jokes, but it is important here.
Yes. Because we need to keep native diversity species of grasses. Yes, very important.
Yeah. So there's also forest on Stateline Island. And when you think forest, you think these big, huge expanses, and it doesn't have to be. It's just that's what our brains are trained to know and understand. I've even had folks from here go back to New York with me, and they would call it forests. And I'm like, no, dude, that's just the woods. That's not a forest. Woods, That's just the woods.
We usually call that a tree row. That's just a tree row.
So according to the kiosk in the parking area, the forest and the confluence of the North Platte River and Centennial Creek represents the native forest found along streams in western Nebraska. So, you just get out of your car and just walk straight and just keep walking till you hit the end, and that's where you're going to run into the forest area. And down there you'll find cottonwoods, ash, willows, and honey locust trees.
Ticks, mosquitoes.
Yeah, thankfully I was there and they weren't out yet. And these trees provide homes to a variety of birds, including owls, chickadees, warblers, flycatchers, and woodpeckers. Now, I did hear woodpeckers while I was out there. I didn't see any. And I didn't see any owls. And I can't identify
see
the
those out in the daytime, though.
Yeah, it would have to be later. That one time up at Fort Robinson, at the Grebel Ponds, you go past the Grebel Ponds, and there's a big turnaround area so you could come back out. And I turned in there. There were 2 great horned owls, and one flew to the right. So I took pictures from my car, and then one went to the left, and I didn't see where it went, and then the other one went to the right, and I just slowly walked. I was within 15 feet of it, and I sat down and started taking pictures, and then I stood up, and I took a step forward, took a picture, took another step, and then it let me know it didn't want me there. So I just said, okay, great horned owl, I'm pretty sure your claws can kill me, so have a nice day. And I turned and started to walk away, and then he flew away too. And I was surprised, but it was about 5:30 at night. So,
and owls are really common even here in town. Yeah. They're very common. Our city isn't loud enough or big enough to to really scare them away, and hopefully it never will be.
Yeah.
And we're close to the river, so their prey isn't very far away.
Yeah.
But we have one in my neighborhood that's been around, I want to say, if not its family, ever since I was a kid. And they're big old, I don't know if they're great thorn owls or barn owls, but they're just big owls.
The great horned ones are like this tall.
Yeah,
they're
just
they're
huge
massive.
owls. And you can definitely you know when they swoop by because they're absolutely silent. They just swoop by and they come and get stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't see any owls while I was out there, but that's okay. That's all right. They're off doing their owl things. You can visit here year-round during daylight hours, and you can hike, fish, take photographs, but you can't hunt, camp, make campfires, or drive a vehicle around. You have to park your car in the little parking area and walk around. And really, it's 136 acres. Get out of your car and walk. It's not that big.
Yeah. It's a wildlife refuge, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. There's also no toilets, so you're going to have to hold it while you're there. And if you don't, and I see you, I will take a picture. I will report. No, I won't. I will probably
I'll
just
take a picture and I'll laugh, but I won't report.
Yeah. I'm not going to report.
You might go on some crazy Reddit page later.
Yeah. And then that picture will be reposted and reposted and reposted forever. So this was actually one of the things I like about this place. I just let someone know that I'm going and when I expect to be back. I do this no matter where I go traipsing around because there's a lot of places with spotty cell signals and you don't know what you're going to encounter. And you could encounter nothing. You could encounter a person. You could encounter an animal, whatever. I usually just have a time frame. And like I said, when I didn't check in during that time frame, Paul texted me and he was like, "What's going on?" And
it is close to Henry. So if you go see some fishermen down by that way, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Or like you said, the people with his dogs. I mean that you're close to a small town.
Yeah, you're probably going to see some people.
You're probably going to see some people.
Yeah, and usually I didn't have an issue with cell signal out there. I've heard that some people do. I just did not. And usually when I text my husband, I will say, because I wasn't sure when I first got out there how well the signal would be. So I texted him. I said, "I just got here. It's 9:02 a.m." Because sometimes I'll text and then when I'm out in these places with spotty coverage,
He finally got you. It's like, that's 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
I do that too. I do that too with my husband.
It's
it's just got that. What do you mean? What do you mean you're just leaving now?
I'm leaving now. It's 5:02 p.m. And then I walk in the house and Paul's like, "Why didn't you text me?" I did. I did.
Hours ago.
And then sure enough, it's usually like 2 or 3 minutes later, his phone will go off. He'll be like, "Oh, I got your message. You're coming home now."
Geez, thanks.
But it's just a little safety thing so that, someone knows where you're at. I have a friend up in Crawford. She lives in Crawford, and whenever I go hiking up at Fort Robb, I have to let her know I'm in town, which trail I'm going hiking on, and then I have to let her know when I get back to my car.
Isn't it crazy that's how we used to do it?
Yeah.
Like before we leaned on our cell phones so much, it's like, I'm going to be back by this time. The whole phrase, if I don't get back, send a search party.
Yeah.
That was a real thing back then.
Yes.
Like, it was a real deal back before our cell phones. It was like, oh, no. Surely they have a cell phone or they can borrow a cell phone. It's like, no. If you don't hear from me, you call a search party.
Yes. And I always tell people, because I have my camera, if a mountain lion attacks me, I'm just going to switch from taking photos to the video part and just hit record. So at least you'll know how I died.
Dink. There you go.
You'll just hear me screaming a lot. Actually, no, I think, in all honesty, I don't think I would scream if I was being attacked by a mountain lion. I would probably be cussing at him and yelling at him. I don't think I would scream.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I hope to never find out.
Our mountain lion hares are pretty docile.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say docile. They're pretty, I should say they're skittish. They don't
make
some loud noises.
Yeah, they're not going to bother me unless I bother them. So,
But they haven't become desperate for lack of food yet, and that might happen for lack of rain. So you never know. You might get some vicious mountain lions.
Pretty happy my cats are indoor cats right now.
Yeah, that's what makes the mountain lions go after you, folks. They don't have anything up in their area to eat or drink.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't get drink too. Like water's a big thing. If they're going to find the water, if the water's in your pool, they're going to probably drink from your pool.
Drink it. Yep. I always take water with me, and I don't always drink it, which is really bad. But I grew up where you didn't have water, and all the schools now, kids have water in school. But I always take water with me because there are times where I wish I had some water, and then I didn't. So now I take a bottle with me. No big deal. So anyway, I also like that there's no hunting out at Stateline Island because I don't have to worry about accidentally being mistaken for a deer on its hind legs. I don't have to wear my safety vest or put much thought into what I'm wearing when I go out. It just makes for a more peaceful day of watching wildlife and wandering around in nature without having to be on high alert. And I am not saying hunters are irresponsible out here, but crap can happen.
They can. The nice thing about hunters here is they catch other hunters. Mm-hmm. Like the majority of hunters around here don't like poachers any more than anyone else.
Yep.
And they'll be the ones hunting or looking for, sometimes, because it doesn't mean hunters don't come into these areas to look for the direction of where these things are going. But so if they see somebody, they're going to, 9 times out of 10, I want to say they're going to report them. It's just messed up. You don't want to do that. Everybody here loves to hunt, but everyone here loves their wildlife. We're Ducks Unlimited kind of people.
Yeah. Yep.
We really are.
Yep. And one of the first times I went out hiking by myself when I moved here almost 20 years ago, I wish I had gotten the guy's name because then I would just keep repeating it forever, thanking him. But I wanted to blend in so that I could get pictures of bighorn sheep and deer and stuff without startling them, so that I could blend in. And this hunter, we crossed paths, and he had his shotgun draped over his arm, and, it was open, like it should be. And we chatted for a couple of minutes, and he just made the suggestion of, don't blend in out here. He goes, because that's not a good thing, especially if you're hiking in an area where hunting is allowed in it. Yeah. Cedar Canyon hunting is allowed. Mm-hmm. So when I worked at the Star Herald, the guys on the trains, I got to ride on the train one day. You know how they do the ticketing thing? Well, I think they do it every year and a half, where they just run the train back and forth, and then they catch people who cross before the arms are completely up, and then you get a fix-it ticket. And it's all a safety thing. That's like, hey, you're not supposed to go till the arms are completely up and the lights are off. So I got to ride in that train, and I had to wear all the safety gear, and I went to hand the vest back, and the dude was like, no, you can keep it. That's all right. You can keep it. I'm like, sweet. And it's big. Connor, you and I could fit in this vest, but I wear it when I go hiking because my backpack is on me. Mm-hmm. And so it's still a little loose, but it fits around everything, and it's that horrific neon yellow. Yeah. So I'm hoping no hunter ever mistakes me for a deer.
And I'm sure as most hunters, people who are hunting, I don't need to tell this to, because we all know it. Yeah. The orange doesn't matter. The deer doesn't see the color.
Yeah.
If you're making a mistake and the deer's frightened, it's not because of the color. It's because you farted, you made a noise, you weren't doing it right. You're upwind, downwind, whatever.
Yep.
But it's not because of the color. It's been more than scientifically proven by now.
Yep. There was one time Steve and I were on top of Cedar Canyon, and there was a little herd of deer and a herd of bighorn sheep. And we were kind of elbowing each other and pointing. And then at some point in time, we just started talking normally like this, but our voices echoed it down. And all of those deer right at us, looking at us. And I'm like, Steve, they see us. He's like, yeah, so did the bighorn sheep. And we just kind of kept talking to see what would happen. And yeah, they took off. They knew where the sound was coming from. I don't know if they could see us, but they knew the sound was coming from there, and they took off. It's
a lot of their sound, and it's sound and smell. And sight usually comes in third, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was very cool because I got this that day because I also got to see bighorn sheep run up the side of
Of those
the buttes, the
buttes,
cliffs.
yeah.
There's no way you or I could run up like that. But I was like,
wish I could.
holy
That'd be
crap,
cool.
that's awesome. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if we could run like that? That'd be awesome. So, according to the kiosks at the entrance to the trail, the North Platte National Wildlife Refuge is located within the Central Flyway and is host to up to 250,000 mallards, 11,000 Canada geese, and a number of bald eagles. The island has a rich variety of habitats with more than 225 species of birds having been spotted there. I didn't see that many. I saw maybe 3 or 4. I didn't see that many, but I thought it was kind of cool, so I looked up the Central Flyway. And if you're wondering what the Central Flyway is, because I didn't know what it was, I know lots of stuff, I just didn't know what this was. It's awesome for migrating birds from down south in Mexico up through Canada, such as waterfowl, shorebirds, and neotropical birds as they fly between Central America and the northern Arctic. So even farther than I just said. The cool thing is the Central Flyway narrows a bit. It's like pretty wide until you get to just south of the Nebraska border in Kansas. It narrows in, and then as the birds exit Kansas, they kind of go in this narrow bit, and then as they get to South Dakota, it widens out again. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's that way, but it's neat because that comes right through our area.
It is, yeah.
So it's pretty dang cool. At least I think it's cool. And so you can just go out there and sit and listen and watch for birds. And heron are not common here. That's why I was so stoked that I saw one.
Nope, they're not. They're not, but they are here. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about their migration pattern because you have the cranes, you have the sandhill cranes over in Harrisburg that come, but the herons, I don't know if they stick around or not. It always seems like I see them in the winter too, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're migrating wherever, but they always seem to be lone ones as well.
They are. I've never seen a flock of them.
No,
I've only seen like one at a time. I've never even seen a pair, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've seen one when I was on Highway 2 headed east, and I've seen one in that big pond by the folks that have the organic farm, Meadowlark Hearth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have that big pond right next to their property.
They would have one.
I've seen one out there. So I've seen 3 total in 20 years.
Yeah, they're not common.
No. And I actually got a picture this time, so I was totally stoked because I'm a nerd. While I was out there, I encountered plenty of songbirds, mostly on that southern side at Centennial Creek. And it seems to just the way the land is laid out, those little songbirds like those little branches and trees and thickets and bushes, and that's mostly on the side with Centennial Creek rather than on the river side. I took pictures there, like I said, took pictures and then just sat and watched the birds flying around doing stuff, dipping down on the water to get whatever was on the surface of the water, just having a fun time. I did see, I believe there's some mallards. I'll get to that in a minute too, but because there's 2 different kinds of ducks and they were far away, and even zoomed in, I couldn't tell if they were mallards or this other type of duck. And when I tried to get closer, they took off. So I usually try to get close once, sometimes twice, and if they keep moving away, then I'm like, all right, go do your bird thing.
Male and females.
Yeah,
females are all ordinary looking.
Yeah, and I just
males are all pretty.
Don't have the vision to see that far away. So that's okay.
You need binoculars.
Yeah. And I'm not a bird expert either. So again, There are black-billed magpies out there, and I do know what a magpie looks like. Western.
I hope so, being from around New York.
There's western meadowlarks, American avocets, and Canada geese. I do know what the Canada geese look like too.
I hope so, being from New York. I hope so.
And like I had told you before, I did see the Canada geese flying low overhead, and it was one of those things where, like, if I was an inch or two taller, I could touch them.
I could just yank it out of the sky
But
and cook it.
I hadn't seen them flying that low before, and I was just so in that moment that I didn't even think to take a picture of them. Maybe after I've been out to Stateline Island 6,000 times, I'll think to take a picture, but I didn't.
And grab a net.
Yeah. Yeah, just let me.
One goose.
Yeah,
One
and then just
really
sit
good.
and pose for me, and then I'll let you go, and you can go back and fly.
I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to cook you. I'm controlling the bird population.
And that's happened several times. That's why when I saw the heron, I was like, dude, you're flying low, but you're not a Canada goose. What the heck are you?
Canada goose? I can't goose at all.
And that was the coolest thing I saw, and that's the coolest picture I took. If I had more time, I could have framed the shot a little better or whatever, but it's the coolest picture I took. And I just had to wing it because I didn't have time to stop and think, oh, it's this sunny. Oh, it's this overcast. Which aperture priority should I have? I just had to get the picture because the dude was flying over me. Or lady. I don't know. I didn't check. This is also the first time I've seen one flying. So the other two that I told you about, they were just standing in the water. So that was also awesome. And I'll shut up because I'll just go on forever about this dang bird. There were also plenty of waterfowl as well. That's what it is. There's wood ducks, eared grebe, as well as the mallards. And I think they were mallards. I've seen a lot of mallards in my life, and I think that's what they were, but I don't know.
Green head.
Yeah. But if they weren't, whatever, man, they were still ducks. They were having fun.
They all taste the same. Just saying.
Okay.
I grab my net. I've been wanting Peking duck for a while now, and in Sioux Falls, there's a place you could order it. You had to order it 24 hours ahead of time.
Okay.
But you had, and I don't know if I'll ever find it again. I'll have to go to like Denver because it takes such a long time.
Okay.
But if you ever get the chance to have Peking duck, definitely.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. I don't think I've ever eaten duck.
Oh, it's so good. I love duck. A lot of people don't like duck, but I love duck.
Everybody has, I'm not a big red meat fan. And where do I live? So I don't let a lot of people know that. I didn't want to fall in, so I didn't try and get any closer to the ducks. The water, the creek curves where I saw them, and it's kind of hard to tell where stable footing ended and where it was just grass covering the water. So I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to be wet today. So there are also raptors, including bald eagles. I did not see one that day, and there's also Merriam's turkeys, and I didn't see any turkeys either.
Not quite the right time of year for it. Usually around August, they're everywhere. They'll gobble at you.
Well, hopefully I'll see one.
And then you bring it, and then you kind of coax it home, and
coax it off the property so I can hunt it. No, I'm kidding. I would take a picture, and there's a turkey at the zoo. I think he's still out there. In the winters, he goes to another place. The petting zoo.
Yeah, just a big old tom.
Yeah, and they used to let him roam free, and he completely harassed people. Like he would follow them and peck at them and gobble, so they had to put him within the little petting zoo. And he had been somebody's pet and was abandoned. So that's how the zoo ended up with him. But there's a place north of town that takes the goats and all the stuff, all the smaller animals from the petting zoo, and they take care of them over the winter and then bring them back late spring.
If they don't cook them. Sorry.
I don't.
What do you think they do with the overhead of petting zoos? You know they cook them.
Yeah.
You know, there's.
I don't know.
Winter night, old Freddie finally kicked it, so I got goat stew. No one asks questions.
Yeah.
I'm just saying these are the things that kids
Connor.
need to know.
No, Connor. No, those pictures I took of those adorable goats at the zoo, they are still alive.
They're
10
still
years
alive.
later,
10
they
years
are
later.
still.
Of course they are. Yep.
They're in the goat retirement
and if
home.
they did die, they died with military honors and
Yes.
the whole,
Yes, and they were buried in nice little coffins in the backyard.
Because that makes sense. Yeah. The sad thing is that's probably true. We have way too much. I'm a pet person, but goats are not pets. Goats are food.
Yeah.
They are human, like garbage disposals, and when they're done and the garbage disposal breaks, they're food. And they don't taste the best to a lot of people. But again, that's one of those things. Yeah. I don't mind goat. You got to cook it right.
Yeah. And we have some lamb. Not saying, you know what I mean. But we have some lamb in the freezer because Paul likes lamb Rogan Josh.
He's British.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everything lamb in Britain.
Yeah. And he's bummed because he's got that one package left. And we used to get it over in Cheyenne all the time. And they don't. At least in King Soopers and Sprouts, we can't find it anymore.
You go out to Torrington, there's a huge farm that does a bunch of lambs just outside of Torrington.
Okay.
I'll have to find the place. You just go to them, I bet you they'll give you one. I bet you they'll let you pick it, like pet it, call it a name, and they'll slaughter it.
You know what, dude? No,
you.
if I'm petting it, it's not getting slaughtered. Connor's going to make me cry today.
No, I was very... very dehumanized as a young teenager. This is Nebraska. It's one of those things. If you name your cow, you have to name your cow after food. Therefore, you're not attached to the cow. I mean, that's just the way of life. That cow's you're gonna eat it. You're gonna eat your friend. So don't get too attached.
Yep. So
just don't. Yeah.
Yep. I knew a gentleman who passed away a few years ago, and he raised longhorns. And he had one longhorn, and I'm trying to remember its name now. But he said he would never butcher them because that particular longhorn, he could just call its name and it would follow him. And if all the other cows didn't follow him, that cow would turn around and would like make noise and shit. And then all the cows would follow him. So he was like, I will never do that because he's
sheep to be dogs.
Yeah.
See, that's different. Dogs are useful, and sheep are useful because you can still shear them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's how much work you want to do it, but you could technically.
But this was a longhorn, like a male longhorn bull.
Yeah.
And when I went to visit him, I was doing a story on him, and they had just recently butchered one of their cows, so I got to eat dinner there. It was I don't like red meat, and that was really good.
Fresh red meat.
Yes, it was really good.
It was only mooing 2 hours ago. Yeah. That's the best.
So while I was still at Stateline Island, I walked around to the side where the North Platte River is, and I saw two white-tailed deer there. They trotted across the river, and they were a good distance from me. I have a 400 millimeter zoom, and I think 800 I could have gotten perfect pictures with, but I got good pictures. The two of them were walking by. I think they were young. They were a little thin, but I think it's because they were young, not because they couldn't find food. It definitely struck me as I was only born not long ago. Not I've been looking for 40 days for food.
Oh yeah, just lots of spots.
Yeah, and they trotted across the river. And like we said before, it was mostly sand at the moment. They stopped for a little drink of water because there were sections where there was water, drank some water, and then continued onto the other side of the river and up into the woods. People have also spotted beavers and raccoons here. I didn't see either. And I'm hoping maybe on subsequent trips, I don't mind seeing the beavers. I don't.
The water's probably too low right now for the beavers.
Yeah.
Beavers actually spend the majority of their time underwater.
Yeah,
or in the water, I should say, not underwater, but in the water. So they're almost fully submerged. So if the rivers are too low, they move on.
Yeah, so they definitely weren't there. So once you're done in the large section, you can cross Highway 79A. It's called like Holloway Road or something. It's called that on Google Maps, but none of the street signs said it. So when
that makes about sense for Henry.
Yeah. So when I first turned into Henry, am I going the right way?
Yeah. Guess what I did out in Henry? I was a FedEx delivery driver. Let me tell you what. I'm just kidding.
So there's a 2-track service trail across the road that I want to walk along. I did look at it on Google Maps, and you can walk out to the end of it and back.
Be a border. Be one side and the other side, one side, the other side.
Yeah. And I think, I'm not sure because I haven't actually walked it yet, but I think there's a small piece of it that's actually Wyoming. But I'm not totally sure because I haven't actually walked it yet. And I think there's even a little sign that says it. But, yeah. On the little walking trail. So if you want to go out there to get the State Line Highway, just drive west on US 26 to Henry and turn south there on Holloway Road. That's not Holloway Road, but it's Highway 79A, but I still didn't see any road signs, so I didn't know if I was on the right.
There you go, influencers. Good luck.
Yeah.
So we're not going to give you the exact way to get here.
Yeah.
You have to find this on your own.
Yep. And so about a mile south, you'll find a parking area with the kiosks, and you'll see the information about the refuge and different things you can see. And this is one of the cool things about living out here. I've had people online ask me why I live out here, and they invariably go down the politics road, which I just don't want to go down.
Why do we worry about that here? There's no politics out here.
Yeah.
We just got done talking about just open land.
Yeah.
I don't know politics out here.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why I like living out here, because, a 25-minute drive from my house, and I'm completely immersed in a different scenery from the usual prairie grasses that I see every day in Scotts Bluff. And it reminds me a little bit of back in New York. And it's public land. It's free. I can go out there and hike anytime I want. I just need to be respectful of the land and not be a jerk. And there are tons of these places out here, and they're
not. And I think that a lot of people think when they think of parks, they think of city parks, they think of like New York, like Central Park, things that you go into and it's this big grand thing and it's bordered off. But no, the parks out here, if you can find them, they're just out by themselves.
Yep. I actually was just looking the other day at something and found some other places to go hiking that I didn't know existed out here, because the trails and the little parks just aren't.
Yeah, I have to take you to Coffee Park one day.
I have been to Coffee Park, but I have not hiked around there.
Yeah, I've hiked a little bit around there, but that's a neat little one too. That's just tucked away.
Yep.
Almost only the locals know where it even is.
Yeah, and I would love to hike around there, and we need to do a story on Coffee Park at some point in time. But I don't know how to get there. I've been there 3 times, and every time I've been with someone else, so I didn't pay attention to how I got there.
You have to take that. It's kind of a weird, very windy dirt road. To get in there, but yeah. I've gone in there.
Is it going down somewhere near Sal Belly Canyon?
It is Sal Belly.
It is in Sal.
It's actually in Sal Belly Canyon.
Okay.
You're going into the roads into that.
Okay.
Into Sal Belly, yeah.
But yeah, it's a neat little place. And I want to go back either with someone like you who would stay and hike around a while, or by myself, because every time I've been, I've had a person literally say, "This is Coffee Park. The Coffees were a big family up here in Sioux County, and the park's named after them, and this is the park." And then we get back in the car and we leave, and I'm going,
there's a whole trail that goes right behind it and just kind of wanders off. And it does kind of skirt private land and public land. But for the most part, I've never been harassed out there.
Yeah,
there's nobody out there.
Yeah, and I think I think too, owners, if they see you from a distance, they'll size you up and they'll be like, it's just a dude hiking.
Yeah, they'll discover pretty quick what you are if you're a hunter, if you have a gun or anything. For the most part, they'll probably maybe keep an eye out for you to see if you come back.
Yeah.
Because that is a big thing. Like out there, when I mean it's in the middle of nowhere, you could be in trouble if you're not very well prepared or seasoned hiker. It's nothing like the Rockies, but you still have to be aware that it's hot, no water. Actually, I take that back. There actually is a little water stream at the park itself, but outside of that, there isn't.
Yeah.
There's actually a little pump.
I've got pictures of that little pump.
There's a little water pump, yeah.
And somewhere up there's also, you park at this one spot, and then you have to walk around to the I think it's Devil's Bathtub. The Devil's Bathtub, yeah. Yeah, and I've always wanted to go up there. I just haven't yet. I had it planned a couple of summers ago when my mom had her accident, and then it just kind of got put on hold.
The Devil's Bathtub's really fun, too.
Yeah, so there's just neat little things if you're willing to stop and look and pay attention, and then you get to see all these really cool and beautiful things. But as always, you need to get off the highway. Get off I-80. All the stuff is north of it. Make friends
with some locals.
Yep.
Definitely, because you'll never know if you don't make the friends with the locals.
Yep. So that is it for Stateline Island. I am looking forward to going back out there and seeing if I can't spot some other wildlife. And
go after a good rainstorm, especially now it's the spring. I'm wondering what spring flowers are out there. There's so many good ones. Many good ones.
There was a spot too when I was walking on the trail. I didn't mention it for this, but there was bones, and they were all white, but they were definitely snapped and broken. And I'm like, oh yeah, somebody got eaten out here. Yeah. And that little, what is it? Your rotator cuff. It looked like that little tiny bone on some smaller animal because it was like that big, just a couple inches. But I was a good custodian of the land, and I remembered my anthropology classes from college. I just took pictures. I didn't take anything. I left it out there.
Yeah, leave it to the wildlife.
Yeah. So that's it for this time. Come back next week. It's going to be our 100th episode, and we're going to ramble on for a while. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you are a local to the area, go out there and hike. If you're an influencer, don't go out there. It sucks. So that's it for this time on Storytelling on the Plains. I'm Irene.
And I'm Connor.
Oh, and this is... oh my God, I screwed it up again.
Yeah, this is Storytelling on the Plains.
Yeah.